I would like to invite Sara up. Sara was one of the 13 women who went on the last trip to Kenya in September. And she's going to share a little bit about her trip and what it meant to her. We're going to sit down and, Sara, you sit over here because they'll see you, they'll see you better. This particular trip, the purpose of it was to work alongside women to build the water-based tanks, the base for their water tanks. And what I heard, it was so exciting, and my daughter was on this trip, is not only were they able to build 15 bases, but those tanks were delivered before they left. So they had the joy of being a part of the whole cycle. So Sara, here we are in Seattle. And Seattleites, we travel a lot. We have a lot of adventures nearby too. So why Kenya and why with Women's Enterprises?
You know, I love to travel. I also am quite cautious by nature. One of those people who certainly needs to actively coach herself to take those risks and to kind of step into those new adventures. And Africa is a place that I had always kind of dreamed of going, but I wasn't quite sure if it would be a part of my story. I wasn't sure how that would happen. Africa seemed really far away. It seemed really different. I knew that there was malaria there, which makes me very nervous. But it wasn't until I discovered Women's Enterprises International that I realized that, you know, this might be able to happen for me. I learned about this most recent trip. We just went this last September through a church bulletin. I instantly jumped online and started to kind of poke around and learn more about the organization just from the website, and I got more and more excited. I instantly shot off an email and just got a fantastic response from Marilyn. Thank you again, Marilyn, for her responsiveness, for her wonderful answers to all of my questions. It felt really right. The timing, all of the pieces around it, just enough to kind of ease that apprehension that my cautious nature brought to the table, ready to kind of jump into the adventure. So it worked.
Well, you were there almost 2 weeks, and I'm sure that every day was overflowing with experiences. But can you think of one experience you'd like to share with us that made a huge impact on you?
I've got two that I'd love to share quickly. The first one was really related to the welcome that we received by these women. You got to see bits and pieces of it from the video, but I still remember kind of driving up to the first house. We heard the women before we saw them. It was the laughing and the singing that just instantly caught my attention, and coming around, seeing them all come up together, dancing and cheering, that embrace that we received, it truly was that outward expression of God's love that Alice talked a little bit about, and it just felt good. It was something that I haven't experienced here at home before, and something that I'll always remember. What that welcome then did was it introduced us to this incredible community. These women worked alongside each other, and they invited us and allowed us. We had an amazing opportunity to work side by side with them. One woman in particular, her name was Mercy. It was really fun to see her again. She was wearing the yellow bandana. And her little girl, Cynthia, the bright smile with the pink and white shirt. You probably don't remember, but she instantly caught my eye. You know, in spite of the language barrier, we kind of read each other. We were able to, you know, I'll get the water, I'll get the concrete, we'll get the mortar together, I'll get the bricks. It just kind of flowed. And it was so fun to kind of see this foundation come together in preparation of the 10,000-liter water tank that was going to sit at their home. And the thing that struck me, the reason why I mentioned Cynthia, her little daughter, is because I watched her watch us. And it was that kind of glow, again, I'm stealing from Alice, that I saw in her as well. It was just this pride and this excitement in what her mom was doing. And it made me realize that the impact and kind of the ripples that are happening are impacting every family, kind of in the present. But the future generations, too, are really seeing this and being inspired by it. And this is just one home in one of the villages in Kabwezi. It was a true gift to be able to be a part of that.
Thank you so much for sharing with us what it was like for the trip. And we try to take a trip every year, so if you're interested, let us know. Thank you.